Welcome to the Hybrid Soul Countdown. I'm Kelly Kinkaid, and today my guest is such a talented person. He comes from a talented musical family, and this is his time to shine. Welcome to the Hybrid Soul Countdown, Davion Farris. Hi, how are you today?
I'm wonderful, wonderful. How about yourself?
Good. So, I teased and said you come from a musical talented family. So you have brothers that many know, D Smoke and Sir. Right. So when before doing this, I've heard you on various songs with D Smoke, and I got a chance to check you out when you all did the at-home session, the BT, the COVID special, which was pretty fly. Very fly. As far as you all are so talented, what has made you want to come out now? Because your last project that you put out was in 2017. Mm-hmm. As far as you have new music, what prompted you? Because you've been doing stuff in the behind the scenes with writing. Why now?
I feel like R&B music has opened up to artists being more vulnerable, being more, being able to be more honest. There was a time in which it had its superficial period, I like to call it, and you have had artists pave the way, my brother included, and and a lot of the female R&B artists like her and Jasmine Sullivan, and just being vulnerable, being honest, being open with how you feel, not just singing about the wins as everybody likes to do, but just about every aspect of life and love and the situations that we're in. Mm-hmm. I really felt like it was that space opened up, and just in being an artist, I have to be true to myself, because that's what I learned from the other artists that I've worked with, that Tyrese and Mary J. Blige's, and the thing that gave them their longevity was being true to who they were.
Like you said, you work with the Tyrese and Mary J. Blige, and I think Eric Bellinger, various different people. What have you picked up just being in the studio and being around such greatness, and even with your family?
Just again, being honest and open, in your music. I sing about, like, for example, with Bad Guy, I sing about not being the one, or being on the receiving end of the shade, so to speak, right? Or just the L's, if you can call it that in a relationship, being cheated on, and dealing with that as a masculine man in this space, and being vulnerable enough to say, I went through it, it's okay, this is what I felt, and it hurt.
Yeah, the Bad Guy. I really love that song, because I think that were you privy to like a conversation with amongst girls when you wrote Bad Guy? Because that is an age-old conversation. The good girl. Well, the girls want the bad guys, and the good guys come along, and you want to treat them bad. How have you experienced that? Your friends or someone told you? How did that song come about?
That song, like a lot of my other, a lot of my music was really me venting. It was an experience that I actually personally went through, right? Mm-hmm. And if you listen to the tagline in the hook, sometimes these girls be the bad guy. That also implies that we're used to, or we expect for the guy to be the bad guy. Right. And it's like, not always, So first, it was really a moment of honesty for me. Like, okay, I'm not perfect. I have broken hearts. I have, I've made, mistakes, and I've owned up to them. But in this particular situation, I wasn't the one in fault, so.
It brought to mind in the circulation of social media, there's a conversation now about Russell Wilson. It's a podcast. One of the hosts spoke about Russell Wilson being a corny, and Sierra had a future and whatnot. I was going to say, on what side of the coin do you consider yourself as far as the gentleman in the relationships? Is it okay to be the good guy?
Absolutely, absolutely. You should. I feel like we should all strive for that, you know. And the thing, I think that the important thing for anybody trying to be the, you know, the good guy is first knowing that you want to go in being your best self, and you know,
Yeah.
and you know, loving yourself. And I've put myself in situations where you know, I hadn't given that to myself, so I didn't realize that I wasn't capable of really, you know, giving that to who are, you know, the person, my partner that I was in a relationship with. But you know, I definitely would say I'm more of the, you know, I'm a lovey-dovey kind of guy, you know, the, you know, gentleman. Like I like to be spoiled, but I like to spoil, you know. So you definitely would find me more on the, you know, on the nice guy side.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I love in your music, you know, we have Bad Guy, that is your current single now, but let's talk about your powerful song, Sometimes. There's lines of insecurity, like, I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm strong, you know, and I'm only strong, you know. And what did you go through when you were writing that song?
I
You had
mean,
to breathe on that.
that was that. Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, that was just life. Like, I feel like that song. It was as much personal as it was understanding that I wasn't the only one experiencing that.
Yeah.
You know, we all had to spend a lot more time with ourselves, obviously going through, you know, the height of the pandemic. And you know, that self-discovery, you know, made us really realize, like, you know what, it's okay that I don't have it together some days. You know, I don't have to pretend or, you know, get caught up in the social media hype like everything is perfect. It's, you know, and it's all right. You know, I mean, I was going through my own personal, you know, personal ups and downs, and I was challenged to write a song that was not, you know, wasn't about relationships, you know,
Right.
wasn't about me and a girl, or, you know. And so I you know, I really dug deep, and you know, I just had to have a moment of honesty. Like, I don't always have it together, but that's okay. You know,
Right.
and I feel it's important for artists to be honest in their art, because that allows other people to feel seen, heard, and understood.
Yeah, because in the song, your voice goes up in octaves. Like,
Mhm.
what's your range? What's your range vocally?
I mean, I think I probably have a range of three octaves, like, you know,
Okay.
something like that.
Okay.
I have a, you know, I have a good amount of bass in my voice. I can get down low and, you know, or whatever. But you know, God's blessed me with you know, with a good gift, and a mother who has an amazing gift and an amazing ability to teach and train. So.
You know, I never met your mother, but just looking at all three of you all, I love your mother because I love through all three of you all's music. You all just, I can just tell how your parents raised you all, the love of the Black woman. And I really appreciate that. So kudos to your mom. Speaking of a beautiful Black woman, Lena Waithe. You are another artist on Hillmangrad Records. How did that relationship come about?
That actually is an amazing story. So I last year, one of the things that I decided to do was submit, instead of, because I'd been submitting music for film and television project. I've you know, I've placed a few records that, you know, songwriters or artists we might call like throwaways, or not, you know, let me not even call them throwaways, but they were just songs that I'd written specifically for that I wouldn't necessarily put out as my own music.
Right.
Last year, I decided to stop doing that. I decided to double down and invest in, you know, in myself and my art. And so I started to release my own actual, you know, music that I would release for the film and television. So make what the music that got Lena's attention, the song that got Lena's attention was a record called Make Love. And I remember Big Tank, who was the musical programmer, hit me up and said, yo, Lena just asked me about you, and you know, she's real serious. She loves the song. You know, she feels like it's incredible. Just, you know, make sure you know, you're ready for that. This might be, you know, a game changer. And lo and behold, you know, a week later, she reaches out and, you know, she asked what I had going on, and you know, and let me know that she wanted to support in whatever way that she could.
Right.
So that's kind of where the relationship started. And she used the analogy, from Berry Gordy, like if I could have a song, if I had $1 and I had to choose between the song or a sandwich, and I was hungry, which one would I choose? And she wanted the song. So I thought that was that was a pretty cool compliment. And yeah, we ended up placing sometimes in the Shy, and that took off as well. So
Right.
I mean, yeah, from then, I ended up signing and really getting the full support of Hillman Grad and now Def Jam. So it's been amazing.
Amazing. And I feel like there's more to come. Who are some of your musical influences just growing up and as your journey as a writer and an artist?
I'd say my biggest, it's like I call it the Holy Trinity, right, of R&B. You got Michael Jackson, of course, Stevie Wonder, and Donny Hathaway, it's more than just those though. Marvin Gaye, one of my biggest influences for sure. Fred Hammond as well on the gospel side. Mm-hmm. There have been quite a few, but that would be the core for sure. Michael, Marvin, Stevie, Donny, and Fred Hammond.
I'm curious, when you said Donny Hathaway, what's your favorite Donny Hathaway song? It's hard to pick, but what's the favorite?
For all we know, we may never meet again. And before you go, make this moment sweet again. We won't say good night until the last minute. I'll hold down my hand and my heart will be there. That's my favorite, Donny.
Thank you. That's one of my favorites too. Thank you so much. He is an amazing legend. Listening to his music, I feel that way about your catalog even thus far. You have an array of music. I've heard some dance with you as music as well. What sound are you projecting for your new project coming up? What can we expect to hear in it?
So I like to call myself an R&B purist, right? That is what you can expect to hear. My Smoke is he's the hip hop guy. Sir, I call him the king of hip hop soul.
Yeah.
Because it's definitely, it's R&B with an edge. And me, I give you that it's what I call pure R&B. It's the foundation is love. The foundation, it's relationships, vulnerability, honesty. That's what you can expect from my music and my project, always.
I can't wait. Being from LA and the music sound, and even from Inglewood, what does that mean to you coming out of there in your sound that you're going to share to the world?
I think the element that artists from LA and specifically even from Inglewood bring is, again, the soul, the honesty, the reality, and what we see, what we experience in our relationships, and even a little funk. Like the bass is one of my favorite instruments, and that's definitely an anchor in West Coast sound. So you'll hear a lot of that in my music as well.
Okay. I have this vision. If I was invited to the Ferris house and everyone was there, I know D Smoke is on the piano. What instrument are you picking up and playing and contributing? Because I know it's some music sessions at the house sometimes on holidays and stuff. What instrument are you picking up?
Well, we all play the piano a little, but I usually stick with the lead vocals.
Okay. I was gonna say, you gonna have a tambourine or anything? That's so funny. I feel like that's one of those moments to catch when everyone's feeling a musical vibe and stuff. Can we expect your brothers on your project?
Well, I mean, we're always working. We're always doing a lot of work. So we have music together. On this first project, no, they aren't featured, but you know, you can expect music from us in the future for sure.
Very good. And any collaborations are we going to look, can we look for, because you've worked with Marsha, the talented Tiffany Gouché. Are we going to hear some duets from you? What's on the horizon?
Again, I don't want to give away too much, you know,
Okay.
but I do have some features and some things in the works, some things to look forward to. So I just ask that everybody stay tapped in. I got we got a lot for you.
It's the Hybrid Soul Countdown with Kelly Kinkaid. Thank you, Davion Farris. We look forward to more to come with you, and see you next time.
All right, appreciate you, Kelly.